That
This
is good for
conference
you.
will now be recorded.
He's not even responding. Okay, is it Russell? You have to respond quickly, right? So that's okay. All right, let's get started. So you have to record in the beginning and save the record. Last time also you missed it, correct? Last time you didn't send, recording was deleted. I don't know everyone got the recording session or not. That's fine. Just make sure you send it to everyone. Okay. Okay. So no issues. So let me just run this linear. So I just want, what is the difference between linear framework, modularized, and hybrid, which we are working currently on hybrid. So what is the difference? Anyone can tell me while it is running? What is linear framework basically? Okay, linear framework is the same same class has everything, every call, including driver setup, calling page objects, page flows, and execution. Everything is happening in the same class. So it's very static. I mean, linear in the same. So the advantage is you don't have to call any other. So you don't have to maintain the folder structure. But disadvantage is maintainability. You cannot maintain if you have more number of test cases. Okay, so that is that is the linear test case. And modularized is, what is the difference between linear and modularized? We divide it into different folders, packages, flows, page objects, test case. So basically, we have only used test case, page objects, and flows. Only three. Basically, we modularized. This is the modularization. Each page is divided into separate class. Flights, reservations, register, sign in. Correct. Same thing went for the page objects here. So in the modularized framework. So let me just run it quickly. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Only Tamina is responding. Everyone has to respond. Okay. How would I know otherwise? Everyone is using.
Yes.
Okay. And how about others? I have to listen to 8 yeses or
Yes.
no's.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, I got 8. Perfect. Okay, so modularized framework is nothing but division of each page into class. Basically, I converted each page, like whether it is page objects. Okay, so this bouquet flight belongs to the bouquet flight page only. All the X paths are in the same. So I did not mix up everything. So modularized means you divide into modules, sections. So logout was not having any. So we put the logout in the flight confirmation, I think. Yeah, so that's fine. Because we are going for even more better approach, hybrid framework, we will put that. So all this, and flows have the definitions, how to operate on each subject in that particular page. And these pages flows will be called in the test case. That's what we did, right? So registration is called, flight finder is called, depart flight, select flight is called. Then booking a flight, validating the price, everything is happening in the test case, is only dealing with calls. We are not defining anything, just calling. All the calls are there, right? Now, even further in the hybrid framework, we have gone with the further enhancement of the framework in such a way that, so instead of flows, I made it as page flows. So page flows has, yesterday we just redefined the page flows register in the sense that okay, so in the register, what we did yesterday, what is the enhancement that we made over modularized framework? We created an infrastructure operations, right? So every time what we are doing, we are either clicking or selecting radio button, or entering text into text box, or selecting drop down value, and so on and so forth, and getting the value from text from the page, and waiting implicitly. Okay, so all these things are repeatedly being used. So I thought, why not we create a reusable functions and just call them instead of doing this repeatedly. Driver dot find element by XPath. So that's what we did, right? Yesterday we created a reusable function for click link and set text and select drop down value, and we pass the parameters appropriately. Driver is a common parameter we have to pass, WebDriver, and XPath locator definitely. And if it is taking some value, we pass input text. Otherwise, no. So, and we passed all the appropriate values as the parameters and created functions properly. And there are some more too. So we will create them and we call them in the page flows. If you look at the register, we call them like this. op is the instance of operations. Operations is where we define all the infrastructure functions. So if I want to set text, I'll just call op.set text and pass the driver and the XPath. Again, XPath is coming from this page objects, right? So here, so if I click over here, yeah, this is where all the XPaths are stored here, and I can call the XPath name directly. So that is easier for me, correct? So likewise, I just pass the input value because this set text is taking 3 parameters, and like so and so forth. Finally, okay, wait implicitly also called from the infrastructure, and get text if I have, yes, I'm calling the get text from operations only and storing this. Since it is returning a value, I'm storing this in a string variable and doing the same thing that we have been doing, correct? And click link also we are gonna use. Okay, so I think this we stopped in the middle, or okay, this is finished, registration is finished. Okay, so then we are on the verge of converting the other page flows into more hybrid, like keyword driven approach using the infrastructure that we will do, and we will go on to data drive this. So data driving in the sense that this data is hard coded. This is still not good for the maintainability. So we will data drive it so that in this particular value will be parameterized and will be gotten from our data pool kind of. So that's what we will do. Okay, so note validation we are doing. So validation is nothing but comparing expected value with the actual value. Expected value is what you are expecting from the requirement, and actual value is what you are getting on the page, on the web page directly. So, and to get that web page, we will actually capture that using the get text. So that's how you get the actual. And you simply compare. If both are equal, say pass. Both are not equal, say fail. Simple as that. And we are going to further do it in the utils. Okay, yesterday we created utils to util driven to in the sense that string utils we used substring, correct, and log utils we use log. So let me use string utils. Yeah, string utils I use substring. So you can directly use a basically you can make it utility driven too, which is good because you know when you're like expert and developers normally would get idea like, okay, if you want a substring, okay, they already know, okay, I have created substring in the string utils. So and they'll directly call string utils dot substring. That would be easier for recalling while coding. So hence you have to create a lot of utils. Okay, so after registration, what else? What is the next one? Let's go to test case, and I'll uncomment this portion and just pull it down till here because we are going one page at a time. So flight finder. So I'll go to flight finder. All right, now just maximize this. Okay, so now we will convert these very faster so that we can continue further. Okay, clicking on flights link. Okay, so what we are trying to do here, we are trying to click on link flights. Okay, so using driver dot find element by XPath flight finder and flight finder dot link flights dot click. Right now we will convert. So tell me, how do we convert? We have already created operations, right? So we will just have to create an instance of it because they are not static. we have to create an instance of it. So how do we create instance of a class? Using the new keyword and then operations, right? You have to immediately catch and tell me. So if you pay attention, operations, and this is a constructor. Constructor is called. So I'll just code that operation and put it on top of here. Okay, so that it is available for all the methods inside this class. Okay, now tell me, how do we click a link using the operations? Op dot, which is a method I need to call. What method I need to call? For clicking link, what method I need to call?
Get text.
Oh my god. Click link. It's right there. I was expecting you to just read it. I was selecting click link. Okay. Click link we created yesterday. And what is the XPath I need to pass? I am converting this line to this line. Simply you pass flights.flight finder, right? So that's why we do. We are just converting now. I will show you how to write it from the scratch using this operations. Flight finder dot link and flights. Okay, so you don't need to pass dot click because already it's part of click link. So I can comment this just for the reference. I'm commenting it instead of removing. Okay, all right. Okay, now tell me, how do I convert the implicit wait? Waiting is important because after clicking flight link, it will take some time, right, for getting next page. So we have to wait for some time implicitly. Okay, we have already created a reusable function for the implicit wait in the infrastructure. So what is that function? Op dot
Void
wait.
implicit.
Correct. Yeah, you have to remember, you have to type something. So partially, then there we go. This is the custom made. That means user defined. I defined it yesterday. And driver you pass max timeout in seconds is you pass some time, 10 seconds max. Okay. So that is the equivalent line for this one. So I'm not removing so that you guys can easily compare. Okay. Now here onwards, I'm going to remove all this, right? Okay. Because you already have the equivalent code for basic operations in the. Oh, sorry, what I am trying to do, I am trying to modify flows. I should have modified the page flows, right? This is left for you guys. Okay, no worries. I'll just control Z. Okay. Okay. This is, now it is not modified. So see, it is in sync with the GitHub. Okay, so these I left it for your reference. Okay, you should have told me, nobody is telling. So flows, I left it for your reference. Okay, so just for the reference, okay, I'll rename it in the sense that refactor, okay, so that we won't touch it. So this flows actually is for later reference. This is for modularized framework, right? Raised framework. This belongs to modularized framework. That's what I mean to say. So I'll just preview it so that it will show me, okay, these are the things it will modify. See, automatically it is changing the imports to flows underscore modularized. This is just for the reference. I mean, so basically we are going to use page flows only. Okay. Okay, now it will change all of them. So no worries. So if you look at it, imports automatically change flows to. So that's the advantage of refactor. So now I just collapse it so that you don't use modular framework because we are using hybrid framework. Okay. So now close it. Okay, second test case. Page flows where we were. Registry is over. Okay, registry is over. Registration, correct? We have used all the operations. op dot, op dot. Okay. Now I have to go to which one? Flight Finder. Okay, so Flight Finder is taking me back here. So I just need to modify quickly the import statements at least. So all these things change to flows, right? So now I have to just change it to page flows. That's all. Don't worry. When you are doing it from the beginning, you don't get all these issues. Okay. So now it will point to the correct one. I mean our hybrid one. Registration is over. I just want to make quick check. Yes, done. And Flight Finder. Okay, so now it is pointing to page flows. Okay, now we will do the same thing. So tell me, first you have to instantiate operations.
Open equal new operation, identity, define and close.
Operations. Okay, what happened? What is the mistake? I'm not getting import. That means something went wrong. Operations.
Spelling mistake.
Typo, correct. Okay, so now we will use this op everywhere. Op dot, op dot, op dot, right? This can be any name. Don't worry. You can put operate, operate, or whatever. So I'm just for the simplicity. I'm putting op. You can put anything. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Okay, so now we will convert one by one. So tell me for clicking link, op dot.
Click link.
Okay, don't tell me the wrong answer because I already showed you. So I'll simply pass this one. Okay, so here I'll just comment it. Okay, so now same thing goes for op dot wait implicitly already created. And max time OT is 10 seconds, and I'll comment this for later, but only for 2. Remaining I'll remove everything. So if you want to come, if you want to refer, just refer to this one. So equivalent names are exactly similar. I didn't change the names of the classes. I only changed the names of the packages. So you're good. So let me go to flights, save everything. Okay, Flight Finder. Just read. Okay, this commented line I don't need anyway. Okay, so we will remove one by one. Okay, tell me, how do I click radio button? Did we create any radio button clicking? No, right? We will create one because we are dealing with, even though it's like clicking a link, we need explicit, because when I see radio button on the web page, all I want to call is op.click radio button or select radio button, right? So we will create one. So for that, where we have to go? We have to go to operations, correct? We haven't created operations for clicking the radio button, right? Drop down is down. Okay, so I'll just put this under the click link itself because it's similar, isn't it? Okay, so instead of click link, I would say click radio button. Right, everything is same. Everything will click link or button. Instead, I will call radio button. Give an export. Okay, click down the radio button. Okay, everything. So if you see value from drop down, so this will clearly say what kind of object, what is the input we are putting, what is the export. So the logs should be clearer. Click down the link and then click down the radio button or selected the radio button. You can put whatever you want. Okay, what is this radio button? Okay, so now we have the method, right? Now you have to call this. Okay, call. What should I call? op dot click radio button. Okay, driver is paused, and what is the export? Whatever is there in the flight finder, because the page is flight finder. Okay, so now I can remove this. Okay, select. Tell me for select, what is the one? OP dot select drop down. Okay, XPath is whatever XPath we have already given. So I'll just copy this. And what is the input text that we are putting for number of passengers? 2, correct? And that will replace these 2 lines, right? So it becomes simple. See, just in one line I can select the drop down. Same thing. So all we are doing is selecting drop down. So I'll just copy this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so drop down, depart from, and the value is, yeah, everybody is with me, because if it is confusing, let me know. It is simple, it's not confusing.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, all I'm converting is the old ways to new ways. This is easier way. Depart on month, so be careful, because I've been doing the automation for a long time. I'm okay with this. You should understand. So let me know if you don't, but I can re-explain it. Month is over on day, and that is 25th day. Okay, did I miss something? On month was, okay, I didn't copy. Oh, November, correct, right? November is correct.
25th.
25th, so that's correct. And finally, arriving in, depart from, arriving in, and to Paris. So that looks simpler. I mean, coding wise, look wise, readability wise, maintainability wise, everything is simple. You just want to call whatever you want to do from that in the test case. So that's it. So there is no complications here. So that's why we prefer hybrid framework. Okay, then click, this looks like click radio button, this looks like click a link or button, right? So tell me, for the last 2 lines you have to tell me. Simple. If you tell me faster, we will go to the other class. We have few more classes to cover, right? OP dot, yeah, somebody tell me. OP dot radio button,
Click link.
yeah. And I'll just pass this XPath. XPath is ready. Don't
Yeah.
need to write it from the scratch. So that's okay. Now, okay, somebody else tell me, how do I?
OP dot button continue.
Oh no, what is the method in operations I need to call first?
Click radio button.
This is not a radio button, this is the link actually. Even though you called it a
Click
button,
link.
it's a link. Yeah, link. Click link is the one, because in the click link I like commented like it's a button or link, both are same thing. Radio button is entirely different. So I didn't create a method for button, because we don't get a lot of buttons in the web pages. It's either link or button. Even though it's button, it's still link. So it looks like button, but it's a link. So that's fine. So don't go by, I mean, that's why I said button. But if you actually go into click link, that's what I mentioned. This method will click link or click on link or button. So you should know. I could have named it as click link or button. Otherwise, because I didn't, because it's very lengthy, it becomes very lengthy, and it's understandable. Even though if it's a link, okay, it refers to both link and button. But radio button is entirely different, so that's why you named it different. Okay, if you want, you can rename it. I mean, all you have to do is right click, refactor and rename. Instead of click link, you can say click link and button. Okay, so that you can do in your own code once you take this, fork this and check it into your records. Okay, so operations is done. I'll go back to what? Which one is the one we finished just now? Flights, right? Flights. Okay. So in the test case, so all we have to, once we complete coding for a class, what we are doing, what we have to do, we have to debug until that point. Why we have to debug or run? To check whether we have done the correct coding or not. Correct? Run. Ciao. Okay, so let's see. Okay, register is doing register, and then okay, did it work or did it break?
It worked.
It worked, and okay, I'll show you the advantage of the conversion. So what did we get this time? It is logging every action, right? You see, clicked on the link register, then entered set text John for this XPath first name. Okay, set text Joe for last name, phone number. Every action that we are performing is being logged. Okay, so are you seeing? So what is the advantage with this one? And pass. The first thing is pass, expected username is there, and then flights. Okay, so this is what we did. We selected round trip, number of passengers from month, day, from port and to port, and then finally select radio button, first class, and find flights. Click. Okay, every action is performed. Correct. I mean every action is logged. So what do you think about this one? What is the advantage, you think? Why we are logging and what is the advantage? You can easily tell. It's common sense. It's not
All the information is right there.
correct. Good. And okay, good job. Go on. We'll just note it down. So like this logs. Okay. So logs will come like this. We will replace this. Don't forget. So these are the okay. So these logs contain date also. Okay. So I need to tell how to extract date in the date utils. So then I will be able to. I'll be able to. So for the timing, I'll just put this here. Okay, we need to modify these logs little further. Okay, so I'll just say these are console logs. Okay, so console logs advantage is it is every action we perform on the application is logged, and this can be reported easily. Correct, reported easily as a captions. We can use this as a captions, and readability is achieved. Correct, readability. Okay, so you can think of more advantages. Okay, console logs. Okay, so I just need to enhance these console logs little further. Why? Because it doesn't differentiate between which page and which page, right? There are no separators. Okay, so let me just put a separator or something like this, or let's see. So register is the first one, right? So when we call register, it has to show which page it is calling. So where we can put that log or sysout. Okay, so where we can put that, I can put it somewhere here. Where? Beginning of the class. Where is the beginning of the class? Somewhere here, right? These operations can go top, correct, because it's a class level. I have only one function, so that's fine, but I can make it a class level. Control A, Control I. Okay, so here in the registration, okay, as soon as I call Hello, is everybody there? I think I lost my connection. Everybody is there?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I thought I lost the connection. Wi-Fi. Okay. So I'll put system.println as a separator for the class. I'll show you the part. I thought it was recording so far. Okay, so this acts as a separator and this will contain page name, registration. I'm putting a page name like this. So here registration is starting, right? Registration is starting. So that's all I need. I don't have to put registration end because when I start the next class, automatically it will show the other class starts, other page starts. So I don't have to put the starting and ending. I was thinking about registration start and registration end at the very end. This is one way of doing it, but that will look very cumbersome, isn't it? Okay. If I put registration end, so here it will say registration start and registration end, then it will start flight starts. Okay. So that we don't need it because anyway registration end will be automatically determined by next class start. So I can remove this. So registration would be sufficient. Okay, so same thing, I will put it for the next class also. Okay. What is the next class? Flight finder. So flight finder, I will start it immediately right here. So after the declaration of method, I will start flight finder. Flight finder. Okay. Now we will quickly run and see how the logs will look like. Okay. So now what we have to do? We have to check the logs. Okay. Now registration starting and then flight finder starting. So if you look at it, okay, I don't know why did I put it. This is actually dominating. So let me just remove this and enhance this so that I'll get the line breaks also. It is almost mixed up, right? So we are just fine tuning. Okay, so I put something like this system.println, right? This is actually distracting, so I'll remove this. Registration, and all I need to put is backslash n. Backslash n is for the next line. So before next line and after next line. Okay, so this probably should differentiate clearly. Backslash n, backslash n. Okay. Okay, so let's quickly run it and we'll move forward. Okay, so this will be once I fix on it, it will be maintained throughout. I can just copy paste. So initially, okay, so now let's look at the logs. Okay, so now is it Better? Registration starts, then registration ends automatically. Obviously, flight finder starts. Okay, this is better, right? So you can easily figure out. And I can put test case name also, that we will do later, more enhancements on the reporting wise. Okay, so now we will move further for selecting the flight. So converting. So I'm just shrinking the commented line so that we are okay. So departing flight. Departing flight has some of these lines, right? Now what we have to do? How do we convert the radio button operation here? OP dot, right? So before that, what we have to do? We have to do a couple things. What is it? You have to put a depart flight, return flight, and continue flight. Okay, all this I can just put here. I can just copy this name pretty much, right? Depart flight, and I'll copy this. So this is like a comment that will be printed to the console. So I am putting inside the method because these methods will be called. If I put outside the method inside this class, it won't be called because I'm calling the functions in this test case. So that we have to make sure. And I have to instantiate the operations. Remember, operations OP equals new operations. Okay. Now, okay. So now we have to convert this. Okay. Now tell me, OP dot click radio button, right? Click radio button because I see a radio button here, and I'll just enter text public and remove this pretty much. Okay, that's it. It was simple. And here same thing, radio button only. So I'll copy this and radio button for the next flight. And click this, and the same thing goes here. Only the export changes. So don't worry about the alignment. Finally, you can say Control A, Control I. This will realign. Even though it is like this, do not worry in the beginning. Just concentrate on coding. And finally, once you're done, Control A, Control I. So that's it. That will align. So shortcut you can note down. I think I already noted down here. Shortcuts. Shortcuts, Control A, yeah, indentation, alignment, Control A, Control A. So Control A will select first and then Control A. And then Control A. Okay, so this is done, select flights. So we will further continue. And continue flights, depart flights. So we didn't call something return flight. Why didn't we call return flight? Do we have to call the return flight? Let's call and see. So here I did not instantiate the class. Okay, this is another way. I can directly, it's not static way, non-static way, but I can directly create its instance using the new keyword. That's both are same. This line is similar to this line. I mean this line, new select. So just wanted to show you both ways. Now I will write dot return. Dot return. There are two packages available. So just be careful in calling. So which package I need to go for? This one, not this one, because this is just for your reference. I remodified its name. Okay, renamed it. Okay, now what is the method I need to call? Depart return. Okay. Now let's run till this point and see everything is fine running or not. Okay, so did it run fine? Yes, because otherwise we would have got an exception. It was so fast. Even if I mean I can pause, but we can pause it at the end. So we were going fast. Depart flight is booked and return flight is booked, right? And continue flighting. I mean, this all belongs to the same page, so I just made it as a different class. That's fine, no problem. So we will go to the next section, book a flight. So anyway, I can remove. Oh no, I have one more class, right? One more page. So we will go validate price. Ta-da. Okay, so now same thing we have to do repeatedly. Okay, what is the first thing we have to do? First and foremost, we have to instantiate the operations because we are going to use it. So tell me.
Operation OP equal new operation, parenthesis open and close.
Correct. Okay, you need to import every time because in this class it's a new class, so every time you have to import. Okay, now comes price validation. So, and one more thing we are doing is we are putting a comment, right? So that it will be printed to the console. So this is the new page, new section. So same thing, dot 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 dot. Okay, before this backslash in because I need to get the line breaks like this so that
Slash
it won't be mixed up. So backslash in for new line character. Okay, so it is inside the quotes, backslash in, and then you can put star star star. Okay, you can just pretty much copy paste. I can call log utils. Okay, so it's up to you. I'm just leaving it to you guys. Okay, and then backslash n at the very end. So before and after, so it will look nice. Okay, so capturing text has all these operations, right? Now you have to tell me what you need to do. Okay, so tell me op dot. What we are trying to do here? Are we clicking or
book a
selecting?
flight dot text select this one. Line 21.
We are capturing a text actually, correct? Capturing text and storing in a string variable because we want to validate. Remember, like price, total price equals to depart price plus return price multiplied by number of passengers plus tax. That's what we are doing, correct? So we have to call the appropriate method. So we have created a method for capturing text from the web page, which is what? Same thing. I put it as get text. So get, yeah, op dot. Okay, nothing is available. Let's see. Operations. Probably I missed it. Okay, get text is available. So why it is not coming? Get text should have come. When I call op dot, it's not coming. So let's see. Are we in the right page? Page flows. Yes, we are in the page flows. Okay, why? Because tell me, I made this function as static and I cannot call non-static. So what should we do? So let's make this non-static, correct? So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit differently using directly class name dot. Okay, so these are all instance name dot function name, instance name dot method name. Here directly class name dot method name. So because this is a static method. Okay, the problem here is If I go to operations, right, all these are non-static methods, and I cannot call non-static methods in the static, right? That is the problem. So for this, we will make it a non-static only. Okay, flight. I'll just remove this static. So for a static method reference, you can still refer to the old one. Modulus framework still have it, because in that I'm not using operations, so that's fine. Now all these methods I will remove the static. So do not worry. You don't need to make methods or variable static unless you need to. I mean, driver was needed for static, so others we don't need it. Okay, so if we are getting any errors, we have to look. Okay, everything is made non-static, and just I'm checking the test case again, and this is wrong, so I have to create an instance of it, right? So I'll take the bouquet flight valid price. Okay, so let's call it book equals new. Okay, so I can call with book every time. So this is a non-static way, regular way, correct? Okay, now let's go to this, and now if I say op dot, it should come because non-static. See, now it is coming. So be careful. Okay, now tell me, how do we get text? Op dot get text. The name of the method is given appropriately so that you don't get confused. Okay, then X path locator, I'll type yes, okay, flight dot. Now what I'm trying to do, text underscore depart flight price. Correct, that's all. But that's not all, because this is returning me a string. Okay, so I have to store it. If it is written type string, I have to store it somewhere. Otherwise, there is no need, no use, right? So I'll simply store it in this variable. So do you want me to remove this or just comment it? Okay, I'll just comment it and leave for your reference later. But I'll remove these guys. Okay, that's for you, for your reference. Okay, so now same thing. Op dot get text, and locator is this one. It's not locator. And if it is returning, I'm storing this value in this string variable. Right, now I can remove this. Okay, so same thing is will be repeated 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now only thing is the X path changes and the variable name changes. Number of passengers stored in number of passengers string variable, and text is called and stored in the text. Total price is here, and total price. Okay, I need to end with semicolon. Okay, and I'll remove this because we don't need it. Okay, don't worry about these line alignments. Okay, and all I can do is Control A, Control I. So back to normal. Okay, so the first section is over. Capturing text, converting it to string. These are all logic. So we don't need to do anything. The operations we need to convert, but for logic, we are simply what we are trying to do here. We are simply converting string to integer. Similarly, and here we are substring, taking substring, we are getting rid of unwanted characters, right? And then finally validating, like validating in the sense we are simply checking if this value equals to total price or not, like just the way we compare text, like actual value, expected value, similar. So if you want to compare integers, you have to use equal sign. If you are comparing two strings, you have to put dot equals, which we have done before. Okay, so this is all validation. Now passenger info we have to enter right in that page. So what I'll do is I'll try to convert the same thing here. So this will be repeated. So don't need to instantiate operations again because I did it at a class level. So that's why I put it on top. So only thing I need to take care of is method level comments. So this is passengers info. I'll just put it here. And what we are trying to do here. So tell me, op dot set text, correct? Because I'm setting the first name. Locator, and I'm setting the first name. First name is a first name, literally first name, correct? So I can take John. Do you want me to take John? Realistic names, John. And okay, so this is repeated 1, 2, 3 more times. Okay. Now all I need to change is the XPaths last name, and I'll make it realistic. So John Doe, and last first name 2, and last name 2, and let's take tell me the other name, which is like anything. John Doe is the first name 1, first name 2, and tell me the first name. Sorry, first name 1 and last name 1. John Doe. First name 2 and last name 2. So tell me any names so that I'll make realistic. I'll remove these. Think of one name and tell me quickly. Tamina, last name. I don't know the last name. Last name I can put Alama. Okay. Let's say Alam. And okay, so we have one more to go. So I'll copy this. Okay. Okay, now you have to tell me these. What are we trying to do in this? Quickly tell me. Yeah. So how do we convert this, and what we are trying to do here? First of all, yes.
Check credit card.
That is right. But what we are trying to do basically.
Do operations.
Are we clicking link, selecting radio button?
It's a drop down.
Drop down. So we are selecting a drop down value. That's what you have to say. So how do we
We already
automate?
created drop down, no?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. Did we
Yes, we
create?
did.
Okay, good. So how do I call it then? OP dot.
OP dot drop. Yeah. It's good.
Which one is it?
Hold on.
It's you just have to read it. It's visible.
Select the drop down. Other ones like I did nothing else. So select the drop down only for.
And what we have to do? We have to pass this. Is it good? Driver. And what about this XPath?
Okay. Drop down credit card type. Book a flight. Book a flight.
Book a flight. Correct. Book. Control space. Book a flight. I can choose it from which one of these? Book a flight.
Page flows.
Page object. Page object. Page object has XPath, so that's why I always remember page object XPath. Page flows is classes which have definitions. Okay. Okay, flight dart. Which drop down we are trying to operate upon?
Credit card.
Credit card type. So where is it? What is it? Type something, right? Drop down. Drop down. Okay, now choose this one. That's it. Credit card type. And you have to input something, right? So that we will input with whatever type. So tell me what we are trying to do here. We'll put the same thing. Later we'll data drive it, don't worry. But you have to hard code it right now. You can change whichever you want to. You have to select some value from the drop down, right? So what is the value you have to pass here? So what value you want to pass? I'm asking. Value.
Credit card type would be default.
Huh?
So we're gonna
Credit
select
card number.
credit card.
No, type it is right there. Why you are so much thinking? It is right there. I selected discover, right? So I am just putting it here. It's a type and I'm putting driver. So that particular line replaces all three lines. So that's a simple one. Okay. Now tell me same thing for this number. Okay. Now same thing.
op.select drop down
Okay.
drive.
Okay. Wait. Read this carefully and tell me. Don't tell me anything. What we are trying to do, what operations I need to call. Read and tell me. Take your time.
Get text.
Set
What?
text.
Set text or not get text. Now you're correct. Okay. Now what XPath I need to pass? Same thing. You have to just apply dot so and so. And what is a value? I have to enter something. It's a fillable field. There are only two types of fields: clickable field and fillable field. So it's a fillable. So you have to fill with something. What is that something? I can here I'm just copy pasting. That's all. Okay, now that's over. Okay, now what is the next operation?
Get text is for link, right? Sublink you click on for get text for op.getText.
Get for which one you're saying? For this one or this one?
So for text box we use set text, right? For get text
For
links.
text box, we use set text. For
Right.
capturing the text, we use get text. Okay, I think you're confused between those two. Okay, so let me show you quickly. Where did we validated that? Okay, so right here. So I want to get text flight price, right? So I want to capture. So that for that I use get text. It's not a fillable field, it's a capturable field. I'm capturing.
Capturing what?
Oh, capturing what?
Price of
Oh,
the
okay.
price.
I can actually run and show you. I think you're still confused. You shouldn't be confused. I don't know why you're confused, but I'll show you. Get text is for capturing the text. Now you're asking me why we have to capture text. Okay. Now I have to actually pass this in the page and show you. Okay. So something like this. Which page I need to take? Okay. Let's say you want to capture this text, right? This is not a fillable field. I have to capture this text. So I'll use get text. Correct. I want this text to be stored in my string variable. Now this is a set text. This is a fillable field. You get the difference now?
Okay.
If I want to capture this text, I use get text. If I want to fill this field, I use set text.
And for radio button we use
Yeah, radio buttons are radio button. Okay, pay attention. Okay, these are basic questions you're asking again. Okay, don't worry. I'll show you again on the page. I have to pause that page and show you. Okay, so all that I have to do is I have to comment this driver.close so that you. Okay, now let me finish this and I'll come back to that portion. You should not get those basic doubts. Now you're giving me like a doubt again. You have to understand that. No questions. Okay, so now what we are doing here, okay, let me finish this, and when I run this, I'll be able to show it on the web page real time. Okay, so tell me for these three lines, fatafat, let's finish this. OP dot, what we are trying to do here,
Select drop down.
correct? Select drop down, then pass driver, and what is the XPath? Whatever the XPath I already captured. But when we are Because I have already coded like this, I can copy paste here. If I have not coded like this for the first time, I had to use my due diligence, right? So what we are trying to do, use the month. Okay, so for the first time, this is how we do. Okay, flight. Okay, okay, flight coming from the page objects dot. It's a drop down. I see on the page. I actually open the page and see when I'm coding. That's how I do, right? I have the page on my computer. Now, which one I have to choose?
First one.
Right. Correct. That's it. For the first time,
12.
just imagine these lines are not there. Then it will become more difficult. That's why I'm saying here it's just copy paste. And input text I will enter. It's
12.
whatever. Yeah, month like 12. That's it. Okay. So same thing for the below here. OP dot select drop down. So just imagine this is not there.
Just
Pretend.
change.
Okay, flight. Flight is right there. Dot. It's a drop down. Now I'm selecting the year. That's it. Simple. And input text I can put it. So it will become more difficult. I'll also parameterize this after this exercise is over. So it's good getting more difficult. So when I do this and you're getting basic doubt like what is the difference between getX and setX, I am getting doubtful now. You have to understand the basic and come back to, because we are going advanced. That doesn't mean you should forget the basic. So basic still be in your minds. So the, and what is the basic? In the, let's say tomorrow in the interview, they will ask, how do you select a drop down value in the Selenium WebDriver? What would be your answer? Your answer should be like op dot select drop down, pass driver and XPath and value, right? Right or wrong?
For this project, yes.
No, no,
It
no.
could be
They will
it
ask.
could be it could be
Ah,
answered differently too.
correct. What is the differently? How do you answer?
We can do the other one like web element wise.
Ah, that's what you tell them, because this is your, they don't know. Okay, you can tell you have created a reusable operation, reusable functions for operations, and like we created a function called select drop down, and we'll just call it and pass three values: driver, XPath, and value. But how do you actually define that? You have to tell me. That's the basic. That's what I'm saying. You should remember. So how do you select a drop down value in the Selenium WebDriver? Yes, I have already told you. So inside,
OP dot.
correct. Say you create an instance of select and you pass the web element using the driver.find element by XPath, where you pass the XPath for that drop down. And then finally using select instance, you select by visible text and pass the value inside the drop down that you want to select. This all you have to verbalize. Otherwise, other person doesn't understand, right? So how do you click a link in the Selenium WebDriver? Tell me. It's very easy. This is the easiest.
You find the element, you find his XPath, and then you press click.
No, no, no. You have to tell the whole thing, na. You find a XPath, that's all fine. But you have to say, I
Driver
created
dot
a
find
function called
element
driver.
by
Ah,
XPath locator click.
that's it. Yeah, you have to tell the whole line. This is the complete line. You have to remember this basic thing. This is the basic. This is not basic. This is advanced. Click link you create, you call this. That's fine. But inside the click link, how do you click actually the link? Using the, this is how you tell. Remember, you create an instance of WebDriver called driver. Then using the driver, you call driver.find element by .xpath, and you pass the actual XPath by capturing that XPath of the element in the DOM. Okay, and then you apply the operation .click method, which will click. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Now driver.find element. Driver has find element method that takes by class as an argument, And then by class has multiple options like by dot whatever there, by dot CSS selector, by dot ID. I have already shown you one for each example. Remember long back. By dot link text, you can directly pass link text. By dot name, by dot partial link text, by dot tag name, by dot XPath. So why we are choosing XPath? Because it's more faster and accurate, right? And XPath is easily maintainable. So we choose by dot XPath and pass its XPath and not click. This is the whole thing you have to tell. Similarly, how do you select a radio button? Same thing. Driver dot find element by XPath, pass XPath locator and dot click. How do you get the text from web page? How do you get the text from web page? It's similar. I'm not going to that page, but can you recall that? Yes. How do you get the text like this from the web page? This has a XPath, right? So you first create an XPath for this one. In this, okay, you write the XPath, blah blah blah. Correct. Then what you do? Take the XPath and write like driver dot find element. Same way, by XPath you pass that XPath and apply which method? Which method do you apply? Instead of dot click so and so, you apply get text that will return a string. So we do like this. Same thing, driver dot find element by XPath and apply the method get text. So this method name is important based on your operation. If you want to get text, apply get text, and this will return me a string. So I am storing it in string variable called text and return. Okay, so okay, now tell me, did we create the method for checkbox? Yes or no?
No.
We have to create one. That's what we are need basis. On the need basis we are creating. So I'll just go to the one of methods. I don't have to retype again. So I can just copy basic because yesterday I already shown you this. You can practice more. Okay, it's similar to radio button. So I'm just copying it. So this will click on checkbox. Right. Checkbox with the given. So I can call this method name as click checkbox, right? It's just a method name, that's all. So this will click on, this will be clicking on checkbox for the XPath. That's it, done. So this is just for the checkbox, that's all. Okay, so now I will go to apply it here and apply this method. So tell me now, control shift S will save all. OP dot
Checkbox.
click checkbox. Yes, that's it. And I'll pause the XPath. I mean, understanding is one thing, explaining is other. So you should be able to explain it to somebody else, right? Okay, now I'll remove. So submit. Okay, tell me for this one. I'm trying to
Checkbox.
link. Clicking a link. It's a link, button or link, same thing, right? Not radio button. Radio button, I'll mention radio button. Okay, I'll delete this. That is it. Okay, now you watch carefully. I'm going to execute this because I have to show you where do you apply get text and where do you apply set text. So I have to run this. Okay, so now it is trying to enter. Yeah, now we reach the last page. Okay, if you see the last page, actually that is miss, but this is where you get text. We try to get text here, right? Correct. We try to get text. That is a get text. Set text, actually I missed it because it went to the next page. I cannot do further. Okay, so I'll comment this again. Where this way, Like confirmation. Why did it go to the next page? Secure purchase. I'll just comment it so that we'll stay on the same page. Hold on. Okay, so now you tell me in this page both are there. Okay, where do you apply the set text and where do you apply the get text? I just pause the page execution. Okay, tell me fast. You're wasting the time.
Get text is the price and set text is the flight or name.
Text is the text.
Yeah, it's right there. What flight I was searching? Okay, he's right. Gettext is if I want to capture this price, I'll use gettext because it's not fillable. I just want to get text. The name itself has a meaning, so you don't even have to think. Get this text, get this damn text, right? And set this text, damn text here. Okay, I'm setting it. That is a basic in English. So you have to understand. Now you understand? Amina, I think, right? Who asked the question before?
Sabina.
Sabina, yeah. Okay, sir. So here I want to set something, right? Now which operation, which method I need to call in the automation? Operations. I want to type something.
Set text.
Set text. Okay, perfect. Perfect, understood. Now I want to capture this total price. Which method I have to call in the automation, in the coding?
Get text.
Get text. Okay, awesome. So now you understood. Okay, you should not get this basic doubt again. Okay, get and set. Get means set. You put something. It's like put, right. All these are synonyms. Okay. Now I'm going back to the this.
For the test case, so you're just for the
Yeah.
so right now we're looking at book a flight, right? So this is how
Yeah.
we set it up anytime you run the page or any of the because we're calling this from page flow, right? The book a flight.
Correct. Page flows. I'll show you the framework level here. So test case is calling the page flows. Page flows is calling page objects. Right. That's how it's. And page flows is calling the infrastructure too. Correct. So if I go to which of these guys, book a flight. So okay, test case I'm calling book a flight, validate price. Let's say the validate price, right? Okay, so I'm calling page flows. Okay, now page flows intern is calling the infrastructure getx. See, it's calling infrastructure, and page flows is also calling page objects because I'm passing the page object here. See here. So this is calling this and this. So the test case is only calling this page flows only. Okay, the test case is if I click any of these guys, it is calling page flows only. That's how it is designed. And the page flows is calling multiple. Okay, this is calling infrastructure. This is calling page objects. It is also calling utils. Okay, so it's many one-to-many operation. Yeah, tell me what is your doubt? So finally you execute what? Your execution is on test case level only, this test case. It is calling page flows. Page flows is calling infrastructure, page objects, as well as utils. And it will also call data. It is right now empty, but it will call data. Okay. Is your doubt clarified or?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is that simple. So this clarity only comes if you actually practice this, if you actually put this in your Eclipse and run it and do some modifications, come up with your own scenario and change something in your own, like change whatever you can change I can just change this value. So, or change this to go here and change something. Don't change the X path, otherwise it won't work. But I can change contents. So I can change here something. Instead of this, I can remove this too. Okay, but you don't have to. But come up with a new scenario. In the same page, you can do something else. Okay, so that way you will get a hands-on experience. Okay, so now we have already run that. So I'll go to the last section. So I can uncomment everything. Okay, now you are going to tell me this thing. Okay, valid flight information. Okay, this is a big page. So tell me what we have to do. First of all, what I have to do? I have to instantiate operations. Otherwise, I cannot call. So tell me when I'm typing, you have to tell me. That's what I'm expecting actually, but nobody is talking, so I'm on.
New operation.
Right. So at least if you talk, you get like practice verbally.
Before operation need the new
Before I add new.
line element.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, okay, good job. You have to catch it like that immediately. I forgot new and she actually caught it. That's fast here to be. Okay, next in the function. This is a function, right? I have to create a non-static function. Otherwise, I cannot call in op dot because I told you I cannot call non-static in the static, and non-static are all of these operations have non-static, no static here. So I have to change that here, flight confirmation, this thing. Okay, so earlier we have done the same thing, right? We have to remove this static keyword here. I just showed it to you guys before for showing the difference between static and non-static. Same way it shows me error, so I'll have to just instantiate it, or I can just use a keyword, new keyword, new flight confirmation validation. Okay, that's a non-static. Okay, so now I'll be able to use the operations here, right? Okay, so tell me now. Okay, which one is that one? Last one right here, right? Yeah. Okay, so now in this each method, what we are trying to do, we are logging something, right? The page name or the section name. So how do we log? You have to put the system out.println. Okay. /m star page name. You can copy this pretty much. I'm just showing you so that you can practice the same way. I'm putting same dots, same stars to get symmetrical. In the logs, it looks symmetrical. Okay, capturing the text. Okay, this will be easier now because you've already seen all these operations. Okay, now tell me quickly. This is the last page.
op dot
op dot
get tag.
Get text. Good job. Okay, so now I have to pass driver. It's already passed because driver is coming from test case, which is already matching. Okay, now XPath. What is XPath?
Flight confirmation.
Okay, we will type flight confirmation because that's where we are getting the flight confirmations XPath from. Flight confirmation, it is in the page objects. Always when you're passing the XPath, you pass it from page objects. Okay, so that's clear. Then dot departing flight price, right? So where is the departing flight price? It's a text. So first you type text path because I know text because on the web page I see. So when I'm coding for the first time, I keep the web page on the other window. So the reason I'm not doing it because I've already done it. Okay, departing flight price. Okay, now what else? It's getting me text. It's returning something. So I have to store it somewhere. So I'll store it in which variable? It's always returns me string. So I have to store it in a string variable. So string depart flight price. Okay. So now that line replaces this line. So I'll delete it. Okay. Same thing we will do for these 3, 4. all we have to do. Number of passengers. If I miss anything, you tell me quickly. Okay. Okay. So done. Everything look good. Should we delete this? Now you read. Reading wise also it's good. Okay. Get text from flight price depart. Get text from return flight price. Get text from number of passengers. Get text and store it in the string variable. Done. Now remaining everything is these are sysouts, right? Do we need these sysouts? Do we need to print this again to the console? No, right? Because we have already printed it here. Get text. That's why reusability. Oh, did we not print it? Okay, we have to print it. Okay. So we have to actually print it like this. Log utils dot log. Okay. So tell me for this. You have to log it. Because here I am logging because so that I don't have to log otherwise. So every time it will call, it will operate and log, both operate and log. So log utils has already such operations, right? Log utils dot log. So this basically contains system out dot println only. I'll show it here. So I'm just creating a reusable function for this one so that I don't have to call the whole thing every time. So this is the reusability, which is good. Back. Okay. So I have to pass this message. What message I can pass for wait implicitly? Waiting. Yes, tell me. Implicitly for how many seconds?
5.
10 and 5.
Whatever. This generalized max timeout seconds. I have to pass the same thing. Here I am not passing 510, right? I am passing the 510 in the test case. Right. Here I am passing somewhere. In not even here. Here I am passing somewhere. I don't know where did I use that, but yeah, let me show you. Operations. Okay. So max timeout. So wherever I pass, I can pass whatever. So, but this has to be generalized for these many seconds and seconds. It will be printed like this. Okay, when we run it, I'll show you where how it would look like in the logs. So logging is also important. Operations is important as well as logging, because logging is used for the reporting. Operations are used for automation. I mean, you have to run it and log it both. Okay, so get text finally. How do we log this? Log utils. So log utils is because utility. I know, okay, this logging is in log utilities. So then I'll call log utils and it is static. So, and what function I need to call? Log. So that's simple. And once you get used to it, it will be simple for you also. Okay, now what we can do it here? Getting text. Yeah, so we log it the same way here. Selected value from drop down, this value for this XPath. So same way. So getting text, which from getting text for XPath, right? Plus XPath locator. But what text I have gotten, I need to specify that too. So text. So text is a text. It is written in me text, right? So getting text. I just split this here. Text plus. So this is a little bit difficult for you, but once you practice, it will be easier. So every time you split, you have to put a concatenation operator plus. Okay, so this is how it will look like in the logs. Getting text so and so for this XPath locator. So we'll be easily be able to relate it, which XPath we are getting this text for and what is the text value also. Getting this text. Okay, so just to be more precise, I will put equal sign so that you can easily understand. Okay, so that's perfect. Save it. Okay, so I think I need to call this somewhere, right? Yep, yeah, here. So this is why we are we don't want these extra lines, because I already made it a part of the get text. Where did I made it a part of? Oh, so these are for integer conversions, right? Conversions. So this is like string utils. I can also replace this parse in, but I don't want to, because you have to remember this, how to convert a string to integer. So you should say integer dot parseInt. Okay. So if I create a util for everything, you won't remember everything. So I'll keep it this way. And this is okay, this is fine, because these are the integral parts, integer parts, so without any special characters. Okay, so calculations to do, I put it because we need it to work, but it is already done, so we can remove the to do. Calculations, here we are simply comparing total with this calculation. And then finally click, right? Okay, how do I click? Yes, copy dot click, and what is its export? And delete it, right? Okay, so now we are done with the whole test case, and let's run and see how it runs and how it logs. Okay, now test case. Okay, everything is uncommented, just make sure. So I'm just commenting driver.close because I want to keep the last page intact, and then we can uncomment it so that it will close, so that it will run the next test case in the batch. So that is very important. After that you're done, you just close the browser. So in real time, run as Java. Okay, what is it doing here? Anyone? Why it is not doing anything here? Because it's waiting.
You did not mention the time, that's why it's still waiting.
I have already mentioned the time,
I don't think
but
so.
it depends on the. Why don't think so? Let's see. So is it stopped or is it still waiting?
I think it's still waiting.
Waiting. Okay.
You didn't mention that minute. Just you write down the
Yeah,
second.
you
Maybe.
just you never mentioned that within how many seconds or it
Mm-hmm.
will just go to the next page.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
never mentioned that, I believe. I
Oh,
think.
really? Okay. So let's
Yeah.
mention. Okay. So click on the link for logout. Oh, it is already done. Sorry, it is already done. Logout is clicked. That's why it went to the next page. It is done. See logout. So it was so fast. I was thinking it is on the first page after registration. Okay. Let me redo this, re-execute this by commenting this logout. It already logged out, so it's not waiting. It's done. Stop. Let's see. And the waiting time is already mentioned. You did not notice it. Where did we mention logs? Logs waiting implicit. Just search for the wait. Waiting. Probably we did not call it anywhere. I don't know. We should call it. Waiting was definitely called 2 times. So maybe in the registration, I'll go check the registration. Uh, registration. Okay, not page objects. Register. Okay, come down. Wait implicitly. So, okay. Now, did we log it? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, waiting implicitly. Okay, wait. W-A-I-T. I was searching for wrong word. That's a typo. Okay. Now let's run it again and see. So watch carefully when it is running, how long it is taking time and everything. So
So
last page it should be
it should take 20 seconds.
max 10 seconds, whatever time I mention.
You mentioned 20 over there.
You can mention max 50 also, doesn't matter, but it will take as much as it will take. I mean, based on its operation, and okay, it didn't even take 5 seconds. So you have to understand one difference. Who is this talking? Mohammed MD?
Rahat.
Rahat. Okay. What is the difference between static wait and implicit wait? Okay, I told you the difference, right? I'll show you again. Okay. So this is the usage, but I'll show you the always on top. It doesn't set the below. Okay. Right here. So static wait is this thread dot sleep. So how much time it is waiting here? If I mention thread dot sleep 2000 seconds, right?
Yes.
No, 2000 milliseconds. 2 seconds. I told you 2000 milliseconds. 2000 milliseconds equals to 2 seconds. So that means okay. Okay, so 1 millisecond is how, sorry, 1 second is equal to how many milliseconds?
1000.
Correct. Okay, so thread dot sleep is waiting for 2 seconds no matter what. Okay, so if I put like 5000 milliseconds, how much time it is waiting?
5 seconds.
5 seconds. So 5 seconds static. That's why it is called static. No matter what, it will wait for 5 seconds. Okay. If I mention 20,000, 20 seconds. Okay. Now the difference between implicit wait and static wait is implicit wait. If I mention 10 seconds and the application is able to respond within 5 seconds, it won't wait for the rest of the 5 seconds. It will continue as if it didn't. I mentioned 5 seconds. Correct. As if I mentioned 5 seconds. So what is the difference? If I put 20 seconds here, it will wait for only that much time until the application is able to respond. So max timeout is for max. Okay. So if I put 20, it won't wait for 20 all the time. It will wait. Okay, if application, there are two speeds, right? Application speed and automation speed. Application speed is done by the developers. Okay, it depends on the performance, CPU speed, server speed, memory, lot of factors are involved. Okay, that is the application speed. Response time is a byproduct of application speed. Okay, that's all comes under the performance testing. Don't worry about it. Now automation speed is automation driver speed is dependent on my local machine, and it is always faster if you're normal CPU and memory and RAM and everything. That's all fine. Okay, sometimes my automation is going faster than the application. Okay, let's see in situation where I click registration button or link, it is taking some time. You see that slowness, right? While you click on the Google link, it takes some time. Like if you click a YouTube video, it buffers, taking some time to load it, correct? That means the application is slower. Now I have to slow down too from automation, because otherwise my automation test case will fail. So for that thing, I have to use implicit wait. Okay, so I can use static wait too. I can mean, but it will waste time because I have 200 test cases to run and I don't want to waste time. Correct. But I want to make sure the test case runs fine too. So I'll mention max time of 20, and it will implicitly wait method automatically checks whether the application is responding or not. If the application is responding faster than 20 seconds, it won't wait for the rest of the time. So it will continue. So you got the difference between static and implicit wait now?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the difference. So which one method, which one is the more
Implicit wait.
implicit wait? Yeah, there you go. So that's why we are using implicit, and that's what it did. It went faster. It waited for 2 or 3 seconds. You don't worry about that, but it went faster. If it takes more than 20 seconds, it will time out. Okay, so you make sure you give the max timeout. That's what I'm saying. You give max timeout. You don't worry about the how much time it will wait. But if you get give like 1 second here, okay, seconds, and it wait for more than 1 second and it couldn't find the next page, it will throw an exception like X path not found or no element, no such element exception, whatever. So it will fail basically. So for that matter, you have to give more time. Okay, so all we are trying to do is we are just checking the logging is done or not. Okay, so that thing is logged somewhere here. Waiting, yeah. So waiting implicitly for 20 seconds. So that's where we, okay, there is a space missing. So here I can easily 20 seconds. So I just need to mention space. This is a reusable function. So it's easier. I just update one time and it will be updated many times. Okay. Let's check the console again and see. First registration. All the operations are logged or not? Are they? This is all we have done, right? It looks more explicit, elaborated. Okay, waiting for implicit, getting text. Okay, Tabina. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Getting text, note your username is username 2. This is what we got. Okay, the whole text is captured like this for this text path. Okay, then flight finder. These are all the operations we did. Click on the link, waiting implicitly, clicked on the radio button, round trip, blah blah blah, and then depart flight, return flight, and continue flight is done. Then validating the price. Okay, now again, this is how it would look like. You can basically read it like a book. That's simple how the console logs should be, and report it too. So basically for reporting, I can copy paste and I'll show you later how to imagine, because you have to input the screenshots also. I have to take the screenshot and put it. Otherwise, management cannot decide which log you are doing for which page and everything. So it will be better if you include the image also. And you can put it in basically notepad, and you can, this is a total test case log. Okay, I'm putting test automation class. Okay, so this we can call test case TC2. Okay, what test case was that? Test case was it? Book a flight, right? Book a flight, flight confirm, book flight, something. Your test case you can mention. Flight confirmation. You can say pass. Okay, so but these are the textual reporting. So you can you can also incorporate the graphical images, and you can call the report finally. Okay, so finally you can put verdict. Okay, so that we didn't put. Okay, we'll go one by one, and all the details are logged, and flight confirmation is passed. Okay, so finally, okay, text is captured and validation passed, total price, and finally we can say what we can say. Finally, test case passed. If everything passes, that we will put final check. If all the validation points passed, we can say test case passed. So I can put right here validation passed. Okay, basically that belongs statically. I'll put, don't worry, later we'll make it. So that we can create a util, a reporting util, and I will make sure that the timing I'll just put it statically. Do not do it, but I'm just putting for the log wise test case verdict, and this pass will come later, but I'm just putting coded fashion. So now finally it will log out and close the browser. So that is a final. You don't able to, you will not be able to see that. But I paused it in here so that I can show you guys the last page. This is the validation we did, and this matched this plus this into this and plus this. So that is the final validation. So your homework is, okay, take this as a homework. What you do is you also validate this departing flight. This is the flight we selected, right? Book a flight in the book a flight page. So is it matching the same thing? Okay. So you capture this, we already captured this text. Out of this, you take the substring of this. Yeah. And you do the same thing for the return flight also. Okay, that is your homework. So I'll just mention the homework here. I'll just remove this and remove the last line comment so that it will log out. So your homework is what? Yes, I'll just copy this here logs. Yes, what is the homework you need to do? Just now I told you. Yeah, these logs I will do this console logs. But we will incorporate more in the logs also, time, what time it was done and everything, which is not required, and how much time it took for the whole test case run, and what is the nature of the test case run. Is it a pass or success or failure or blocked or abruptly ended because of the XPath issues and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'll just give you. So you can do this on your own local. You don't have to show me, but you can send me in the next class for reference. Homework is, you capture the simple homework. You just add 2 more assertions, validation points. Add assertions, that means, or validations for departing flight. Yeah, to Paris, that's what we select. I mean, doesn't matter, whatever you select, you can. So it is very simple. What you need to do? Yes, anybody have any idea what you need to do actually? And you can also validate this address which is mentioned in the previous page. So you can do this delivery address. Okay, so one person take one and one person take other, so that it will be easier. And bill price, delivery address. Does it sound good? How do you validate this one? New York to Paris. It's already captured. You don't need to do anything. Okay. It's already captured here. See, New York to Paris. It's part of depart flight price. So you just need to take the substring properly. So when I take the substring, I took the substring for this one, 281 only, right? Likewise, you need to appropriately take the substring. So where you need to take the substring, I will show you quickly. Yeah, where did we take the substring? Yeah, here, see, depart beginning index and depart ending index. That's all you have to determine. So that's how I determine the beginning index for the start of the dollar sign, right? So this is my dollar sign, and ending index is last index of the what? Space, and that will give me, I just pass it those, and I got the flight price. So likewise, you have to do the same thing. Beginning index is always 1, right? Or 0. Ending index is, you determine. That's your logic. Okay, so you determine either the start of the next number or the third instance of the space, or that's up to you. Okay, and the flight bill, same thing for this one, returning. And you can also put the airlines also if you want. United Airlines, that's and timing, everything. So if I want to bifurcate, this is also same thing. What date you are, okay, you want to take that as flight details, okay, but you bifurcate, you have to Paris and Ariane flight this, and what else, time, airlines, yeah, time, airlines, time, airlines, first class ticket. Okay, these are all be inputted. Okay, so you just have to store in the proper variables. Okay, and first class, third class, first class we chosen. Billet price, delivery price is the next page. Just put in the new lines. Conditions for depart flight, flight from where to where, or in flight from where to where, and time. So what time you date actually? Okay, don't go for time, but date. Date, airlines. These are all inputted values, so you can easily validate this, right? Okay, so you do this, at least some of this, not all of this. So that is your homework, so that you can get a hands-on experience on this. So what I'll do is I'll just check it in, and who wants to take it as a, I mean, fork it from Git and pull it from GitHub and do your thing, you can do. And otherwise I'll do the other way also. What is the other way? What is the other way? We are sharing this project. Yes. Okay, what did we do today? We have used all infrastructure operations, right? We have replaced all infrastructure operations. Infrastructure operations. Okay, I would say converted. Okay. Apply. Okay. Keyword driven approach. In the hybrid driven, we use basically keyword driven. Framework. Okay, so this is what we have done, and in the next class we will apply the data driven and utility driven going forward. So this in one sentence, this is what we did today. Just wanted to sum it up. Okay, just save this. Always you have to save everything, and just if you need, if you added any more files, just in case, add to index, and then, I mean, this is for when you're dealing with GitHub. You can do this. You can do this from git bash, or you can do it like this and then commit and push. Okay, so it will show you which project you are committing. Git.git. You can change it, but I don't want to close. Okay, done. So that will go to here. If I Selenium tutorial. Okay, applied keyword and framework. Okay, so then other way I'm sharing is, you already are aware of this, right? What is the other way of sharing is? Yes. Yeah. Exporting. That's what.
File.
Selenium tutorial. I'm exporting this, and yeah. So in the here you already have this link. So in this, I'm just sharing this. I mean, putting the whole zip file. So all you have to do is, this is the latest zip file. See, okay. So I'm just replacing the old project. So it will replace this. Don't worry. this one. So when you download this, it will show this. Just download it and unzip it. Do you want me to show the procedure? Everybody is okay with that one. The procedure is simple. You just have to download it, and what you do is once you download, you extract this. Okay, so extract this to Selenium tutorial. Okay, so then it will create a folder like this. Okay, now you put it in your workspace, wherever your workspace is. Okay, my workspace is in C automation class, right? So then you go there, import it. Okay, import from existing projects into workspace. Okay, so then you browse. So this is my workspace, automation projects or automation class, wherever it is. So once you put it, okay, it will show like this, but it's not showing because it is already there. So then you can select this and finish it. Okay, so then you will be able to do the homework that I have given. So simple. These are the new assertions. Assertions in the sense new validations. I have only validated which one? Only validated the price, right? So I'm giving you opportunity to validate other parts of this last page, confirmation page, so that we can declare the whole test case as passed. So basically we are expanding, correct? Expanding the assertions test case end to end, making it an end-to-end test case and full and final, so that we can concentrate on other frameworks. Okay, so will you be able to do this? This assertion is easy, and this is also easy. You just have to note down the same date. I booked the date flight from November 25th, right? So same date you put it in a string variable. So don't worry if you go wrong. I will tell you. You should just need to work on something. Try and tell me that. If without trying, don't ask me. You try, and wherever you are getting stuck, you ask me in the next class and first class and so and so. Okay, so any questions for today's class? I will end today's class here and we'll continue next.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, okay then. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
And you notice the windows are small, so it doesn't let a lot of light in.
Last stop, 24 miles. Robert Gray and Company.
Robert Gray, that's what he said, right?
Oh yeah, that was the original owner.
Great family. Immediately to the right is the kitchen, which in comparison is quite large. And past that is a small bathroom and a small bedroom.
The layout is just so weird.
Craig did this when he was just him, when he was single. He wasn't thinking wife and daughter. We know we want to bring in as much light as possible to this film section. We also want to try and reduce the size of the kitchen and port it to make more space for a second bedroom for the daughter, and also somehow tie the kitchen exit into the rest of the exterior.
I'll just call the guys and start demoing, and then we can go from there.
Now that the game's out here, it's time to start demo. First things first, we need to get those rotted steps ripped out. I don't think I have the right tools for the job. Administrative, please.
Just keep quiet.
This one right here. This is the one I got set for you. Right here.
Yeah.
You want me to do it?
Oh! Finish it off. Woo! Now that the documents are all ripped out, we need to figure out how we want to go about the interior. I mean, this is just dead wasted space.
There's some major problems inside. You know, mostly with spatial issues and flow, and we were trying to find ways to add another bedroom. That was the most important thing. Could you have the washer and dryer sit right here, and then have a little nook out of the bedroom?
If you put the bathroom space to do that, you know, and then you can almost take this space and make this a bedroom.
The kitchen's way too big, so we know that's where we're gonna be. When you create the kitchen, you're gonna be with plumbing, you know, and then electrical. So there's just so many mechanical things about the house, which cost a ton of money to move, all right there.
Can you move the wall out so that then you can walk here and then wash and dry can be in the bathroom?
No, I don't think it'll work.
It's like what to do, you know, what to do. Well, come over here, right? Put our wall and then having this, you know, drop down and what this drop is.
Hello guys, do you hear me? Hello.